Hi guys, welcome everyone. I hope everyone is doing good and you're all excited about today's session. So, first of all, a few things I'd like to point out that as you're all aware, you had a class 10 maths board exam today, and I hope it was a cakewalk for most of you. Uh, we have had cases where students have told us that yes, they had the exact paper uh, given to them prior to the board exam, right? So yes, there are speculations going around that the examination has got leaked, right? The board exam paper was in circulation before the official scheduled time. So with that regards, CBSE has already released a notification that there will be rescheduling of the exam. The tentative date or the dates have not been finalized yet, right? They've told basically in the next week we'll have the again a board exam. But in today's session we'll not discuss all about that, right? These are all speculations going around. Lots of panic students, panic parents, feeding their curiosity, their anxiety with different kind of rumors, right? Anything that will be told by CBSE officially will be the thing that is to be followed, right? That is the thing that you should pay heed to. All the other rumors that these marks will never be considered, or these marks will be taken an average of the next exam also, all these rumors please don't rely on, right? So in today's session, basically the analysis session of our today's exam, we'll discuss the entire paper with the solutions, of course, and you will be getting the entire solutions in our Merit Nation website as well very soon, right? So having said that, I would just like to point out one more thing that see, everybody understands that this exam will not be is of not that utmost importance, or it has already happened and it's not being counted for. So why are we analyzing things, right? The main point of analyzing today's exam is that number one, you get to know your mistakes as to where you went wrong, because it's like a dress rehearsal for you, right? The actual drama will unfold in a few weeks, but this was a dress rehearsal. And what better than that to have a proper examination in which you go and prepared totally with that mindset, and you give an exam, and then you come back and you say, okay, I've got one more chance to improve, right? So in today's session we'll discuss as to where and how you can improve, right? So I'll cut short my discussion. I'll go straight into the discussion of the paper, right? Overall, I would say it was a really easy uh, uh, board exam. For the first time, I could say no tricky questions or no speed breakers as such. So let's discuss today's Delhi set 3, right? We're discussing the Delhi set 3 board exam today, right? So the first question was a 1 mark, that was cos square 67 degree minus sine square 23 degree. That was an oral question. I assume that anyone with a decent amount of practice would have cracked it in about 30 seconds or 1 minute. You just have to write sine 90 minus theta as cos theta, and you'll get cos square 67 minus cos square 67. So that's answer will be 0, of course, right? So first question, set 3, cos square 67 minus sine square 23, that's 0. The second was the question was in an AP, if the common difference is -4 and the seventh term is given to you as 4, then the first term is, right? So as you're already aware of the AP, that the seventh term is a plus n minus 1d, so a plus 6d. So over there we are given d is -4, we are given the seventh term is 4. Now you just have to find out the first term. That comes out to be 28. Very simple question again, right? I'm assuming that everyone must have got it correctly. Now the third question, it says that basically that we are given that two triangles are similar. Triangle ABC and PQR are similar to each other. The ratio of their sides is given as 1:3. Now it's asking you the area ratio. So as you're already aware, you've learned all across the year that in a similar triangles, the ratio of their sides squared up is the ratio of their areas. So hence you will get 1:9 as the answer, because 1/3 square is 1:9. So that's also a very easy question, right? Now a slightly different sort of question was asked. What is the HCF of smallest prime number and the smallest composite number, isn't it? So I'm sure it must have uh, ragged your nerves a bit. That smallest prime number, is it 1? Is it 2? Of course, smallest prime number is 2, and smallest composite number, that's 4. So taking the HCF of 2 and 4, that's a 6 or maybe a 7 standard question, right? HCF of 2 and 4, come on, who are we kidding? So 2 and 4 HCF is 2, right? Again, a very easy question. Then it was asking you in the next question, distance of point x comma y from the origin. Distance of point x comma y from the origin, I guess it's taught in the first class of coordinate geometry, and nobody should have even dared to do it wrong. Everyone must have got it correct. It's simply root of x square plus y square, right? You'll get 1 mark for that. Just writing that also will give you 1 mark. And so this brings us to the end of our section A, right? That was as simple as that. You just have 6 small one-liner questions you could have answered very quickly. We'll discuss about the retest in the second half of the session. Towards the later part of the session, I'll discuss again about retest, what all things you can expect, what should be your strategy now, right? We'll discuss all those things. Let's focus on our solutions for now for today's exam, right? So section A, I believe everyone should have got 6 marks, right? No strings attached, no conditions attached, 6 marks you should have fetched for sure. Then coming to section B, we had the first question in which 2 different dice are tossed together. Find the probability of getting a doublet. I believe you must have already learned this answer, right? Even if the paper was leaked, yes, of course it was leaked, but this question was, I'm sure you must have done 10 times during your 1 year of preparation, right? A doublet probability, getting a doublet probability when 2 dice are thrown is 1 by 6, 6 by 36, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. I believe everyone must have got it correctly, right? Getting a doublet, 1 by 6. Then getting a sum of 10, right? When 2 dice are thrown, if I throw 2 dice, getting a sum as 10. So there are 3 cases possible: 4, 6, 6, 4, and 5, 5, right? So that's 3 by 36, that's 1 by 12. Again, a very simple question. 2 marks, 2 parts, each part carrying 1 mark. Again, a very simple one. Next was slightly a twisted question, slightly twisted. Considering the level right now of previous questions, this one was slightly trickier, because it says find the ratio in which the point P 4, M divides the line segment joining the points A and B, right? Now over here you have to find 2 things. First of all, you have to find the ratio in which it is dividing, and then you have to find the value of M, basically the point coordinates, y coordinate. So if you just solve the x coordinates ratio, that is 6 and 2 that's given to you, you'll get the ratio is 1:1, right? You'll take the ratio as lambda is to 1. You'll solve for lambda. I hope you know the drill, right? So lambda equal to 1, that is the ratio is 1:1. Now if the ratio is 1:1, it implies that the point is actually the midpoint, right? Ratio is 1:1. It cannot get simpler than that, right? You got the midpoint. It's asking you to find the value of M. M comes out to be 0, right? And the y coordinate, of course, will be 0. So 4, 0, you will have the coordinates of point P. Why I said it was a twisted question, because it was talking about 2 variables, and you have to figure out from the x coordinates ratio that what the ratio would be, and then find the value of M, right? Again, a decent amount of preparation, an average student would have cracked it. Next was basically another probability question, in which it was saying that an integer is chosen at random from 1 to 100. Find the probability that it is divisible by 8. So out of 100 numbers, choosing a number which is divisible by 8 is like choosing the number of numbers which come in 8's table. That's 8, 16, 24, 32, so on up to 96. Those are 12 numbers. So 12 by 100 comes out as the probability that the number will be divisible by 8. 1 minus that probability will give us the second part answer, not divisible by 8, right? So that's the second part's answer that you'll get, that 0.88 or 88 by 100. Next, you had the simplest question that could be formed from arithmetic progression. The simplest question. Instead of asking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's asking you simply that find the sum of first 8 multiples of 3. Now, first 8 multiples of 3, even your younger brother or sister might be knowing it in 6th standard or 5th standard, that first 8 multiples of 3 are, of course, 3, 6, 9, 12, so on, up till 24. Now it's asking you to find the sum of that. That's basically an AP with the first term as 3, common difference as 3. Apply the formula, you'll get the answer as 108, right? I'm sure that you have avoided calculation mistake in this exam at least. You'll get 108 as the answer. Next was a very standard NCERT question that prove that 5 plus 3 root 2 is irrational, given that root 2 is irrational, right? So of course you'll do it by the method of contradiction. You'll assume that the given number is rational, then you'll take 5 on the other side, 3 on the other side, and then you'll have to basically prove that on the left hand side we have got a rational number, right? And on the right hand side, it's given it is irrational. You don't have to prove that root 2 is irrational. It is given it is irrational. So this kind of controversy or this kind of contradiction is happening, that on the left hand side we've got rational number, right hand side we've got irrational number. This will not hold true. So of course, hence our conclusion that this is irrational, right? So I would say section A and B, as I had said in my strategy sessions as well, quite a lot many times, that you would be done with it in 45 minutes, probably 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm sure everyone must have finished it in 30 to 45 minutes. If not, you are lacking in your preparation. Now that you have an option of another attempt, please buck up, pull your socks together and work hard, right? Section A and B should have been done in 30 minutes to 45 minutes max, right? Without losing the marks, of course. Coming to section C. Section C overall was, I would say, slightly difficult. It was one level up, considering A and B were really a cakewalk, right? So section C, yeah, first question that I'm going to discuss is a very interesting one, which I'm sure you might have done it by a different method. That's basically a OR question in which you are given the 4 coordinates of a parallelogram. It's asking you to find the values of A and B, right? And hence find the lengths of the sides. Now, for finding the lengths of A and B, or values of A and B, some of you might have applied the distance formula, right? If you have applied the distance formula, the calculations might be really lengthy and tough. But if you would have applied simply that in a parallelogram, the 2 diagonals will meet at basically the midpoint, right? So from the midpoint of AC and the midpoint of BD, they will coincide, the midpoints of AC and BD. As soon as you apply that, A and B will come out in a jiffy, right? So A comes out as 1, B comes out as 1. It's a very simple question. It is made into a simple question by this logic that the midpoints of the 2 diagonals will coincide, right? However, if you had applied the distance formula, as I've already said, it would have been a really tough job to do, right? So that's something that you could have learned from this session, probably. The midpoints coincide of a parallelogram. Next was finding the area of a quadrilateral. Area of a quadrilateral, I guess nobody would have found any difficulty. You just have to divide the quadrilateral into 2 triangles, get the area as 53 and 19, and hence 72 square units. I'll not discuss that in much in detail. It's a straightforward question. Moving further, we had a polynomial question in which the 2 zeros were given to you. It was a biquadratic polynomial. It was a 4-degree polynomial. 2 zeros were already given, 2 plus root 3, 2 minus root 3. A similar question was given in your MN top 100 questions, if somebody had done that. Over there, we had given the root zeros or the roots as root 3 and minus root 3. This time they are giving it as 2 plus root 3 and 2 minus root 3. So I'm sure you must have done it. You just have to write down the x minus 2 plus root 3, x minus 2 plus root 3, divide it to get the quotient, factorize the quotient. That will be a quadratic, and you'll get the zeros as minus half and 1, right? So your 4 zeros will be 2 plus root 3, 2 minus root 3, minus half, and 1, right? I'm again assuming that you must have done it. It was slightly lengthier because you had to divide the 2 polynomials and factorize the quadratic. But yeah, it was an easy question overall. Next was, I would say, not up to the board standard, right? Why I'm saying that? Because the question was about finding HCF and LCM, right? I don't assume that you would have got any problem in finding the HCF and the LCM of numbers. Everyone must have solved 404 and 96. You must have factorized. You've got the HCF as 4, HCF as 4, LCM as 9696, right? And hence you have to prove the theorem basically that HCF into LCM is the product of two numbers. So it was a very simple question, right? Most easy question, I would say, in section C, right? The most easy question you can find. Next, we had the theorem. I had already told you that you can expect a lot many theorems from circles. 3 theorems from circles you can expect. One of them was asked today, and that's basically proving that the tangents drawn from an outside point are equal. Prove that the length of tangents drawn from an external point to a circle are equal. So I don't think so anybody should have a problem in that. It's a straightforward question or a theorem from NCERT. Very simple one. By using the RHS congruency, you had to prove their congruency, and everything was very easy then. And lastly, we had a question, again an OR question, in which you had to prove that the area of area of equilateral triangle formed on the side of the square and the one formed on the diagonal of the square is 1:2, right? The areas are 1:2. So for that, again, we've done this question lot many times in class as well. It is given in MN top 100 questions as well. This question is in the NCERT as well. I guess you've learned the solution, right? Even if you just switched off your brain, you would have just written down the solution with no efforts at all, right? And of course, proving is absolutely easy in this question. However, the second part of the question, it was slightly different, that if the area of two similar triangles, they become equal, then prove that they're congruent. So again, you'll have to use the similarity condition that the sides are proportional, areas are equal to each other, 1:1. That means that the sides are equal, right? Because the areas ratio is 1:1, sides ratio is 1:1. That means the sides are equal to each other. If the sides are equal to each other and they are similar, it is a similar triangle. So by SSS congruency, triangles are congruent. Again, a similar easy question. Next was a time speed distance question, in which the plane is getting laid by 30 minutes. You have to find the usual speed. This was like a very simple quadratic equation to be formed and hence solved, right? You've done plenty of questions like this. I'm sure the amount of preparation that you have done for these kind of questions, seeing this question, you might have been really happy, right? You would have been really, really happy just by looking at this question, right? Because it's a straightforward quadratic equation. You can see that if you take the speed as x, everything will fit into the picture perfectly. Next, we have the question on median, right? The median salary of the data. This involved a decent amount of calculations because we had the 133 as the frequency of 10 to 15 class, our median class, right? The answer that we get is 13.42, right? You can cross verify, you can cross check that 13.42 is the answer for the median question in section C. Next, we had the NCERT question, page number 245, question number 9, surface area volume, exactly the same question, nothing changed at all. You've got a cylinder, we are scooping out two hemispherical portions on the top and the bottom, right? And it's asking you the total surface area. So it's asking you the total surface area, so you'll add 2 pi RH, the curved surface area of cylinder, and also the curved surface area of the hemisphere at the top, at the bottom. So 4 pi r square in total, 2 pi r square and 2 pi r square, right? And you'll get the answer as 374 centimeters square, 374 centimeters square. Second part of this question, or the OR part of this question, basically had a cone, right? It's asking you to find the volume of the cone. Again, a very simple question. You just have to find the slant height for the canvas or the cloth, right? Other thing, volume is direct 528 meter cube, and area comes out of is 471.42 meter square, sorry, area, right? I'm sure you might have paid attention to the units. You might not have lost marks on that, right? Next, we had a very simple areas related to circles, that a figure basically a given in which you had a square in which you had a square and you had 4 quadrants, right? You had 4 quadrants like this, something like this. You had to find the area of this shaded region. In the coincidentally, luckily, in the strategy session or in the video, I had already drawn this figure, exactly this figure, right, on the board itself, right? So if you could have solved this question, then you would have cracked it in boards very easily. Overall, it's very easy, right? It's just about area of the square minus the area of circle, basically. Why I'm saying the circle? Because it's like 4 times the quadrant area. Now quadrant is 1/4 the area of circle, so that's basically what they've done is they've split the circle outwards. If you can visualize this, put these quadrants together inside, you will form a figure something like this, isn't it? Where the 4 quadrants are joined like this. Try to imagine this. They've just done this, right? They have cut the circle, pasted in a different shape by twisting it. That's it. If you bring the quadrants inside, that's the same figure you are forming. Area of square minus area of circle. That was a very simple question again. Then we had a trigonometry, the nightmare for many students, question based on trigonometry, that if tan theta is 3/4, then you had to calculate the value of 4 sine theta minus cos theta plus 1 divided by 4 sine theta plus cos theta minus 1. Tan theta value given, you can find out sine theta cos theta's value, plug that into the equation, get the answer. As simple as that. Your answer comes out as 13/11. The OR part was even simpler. It was a straightforward NCERT question, page number 189, question number 3, in which tan 2a is equal to cot of a minus 18. Now, you just have to write down tan theta is cot of 90 minus theta and get the answer as 36. A is 36. I hope you know that tan theta is cot of 90 minus theta. You'll get the answer very quickly then. Moving on to section D now. Section D, we had pretty expected questions, not so difficult questions, I would say. Rather, probably just one question was slightly difficult. That was of AP, where the 4 terms were there and their sum was 32. Ratio of their terms, product of their terms was given. So that was slightly difficult. Otherwise, I would say the rest of the question paper of basically section D was really easy. Though it could have been a little lengthy for you if you had not done the wise decision making in the OR questions. But overall, a very simple section D. I'll discuss the first question, that is of heights and distances. Again, heights and distances, I had already told you, you'll get 30, 60, 90 triangle, or you'll get 45, 45, 90 triangle, right? And that is exactly what is happening. You've got both the triangles in one figure, and this distance you need to calculate. This is 100, so this is of course 100, because this is 45, tan 45 is 1. This is 100 root 3, this entire length, that is 100 root 3. You know the difference now. CD you have to calculate. CD comes out as 73.2. Then you had a very standard Frustum question, right? Frustum question in which you have to find the basically the area in which you'll exclude the top. Some of you might not have excluded the top. Please remember, because it is asking you the area of the metal sheet used, you have to take the area of the base and the curved surface area of frustum. You are not supposed to take the area of the top, right? So again, a very standard question, probably based on NCERT. We must have practiced many questions like this. Second one was a value-based question in which it was asking that why should we avoid plastic, right? So as everyone is aware of the Swasthya Abhiyan, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, that yes, we need to avoid plastic in order to save the environment, right? So it's asking you a value that you can impart by doing this. Next was a trigonometry proving question. The questions that actually belong to the hell for the class 10 students, that what to do in the proving questions of trigonometry, how do we prove, etc., right? I'm sure looking at this question, your nerves would have settled down. You must have calmed down that, okay, during the reading time, yes, you must have calmed down that, yes, okay, I can do this. Just by looking at the question, you can say that, yes, I can take sine theta and, sine A and cos A common from the numerator and denominator respectively. And then it's all about basically just canceling or modifying the inner term, writing 1 as cos square a plus sin square a. The numerator and denominator cancels out. So tan a equal to tan a, right? Then we had a straightforward statistics questions in which you had to draw less than ogive. Less than ogive, please remember, upper limits you need to consider, right? Some of you might have drawn with the lower class limits. You might not be awarded marks in that. You would just be awarded marks for the less than table that you have drawn, probably 1 mark or 1.5 marks, right? Lastly, the speed of the boat, you have to find the speed of the stream, you have to find given the speed of the boat and the time equation. It was again a very easy question you must have already done. Then we had a construction. Fortunately, coincidentally, it was exactly the same question which is in NCERT. Draw a 3x4 of the sides, similar triangle. Values they haven't changed and nothing they have changed. Exactly the same question. I'm sure you might have cracked it, right? This was exactly what I was talking about this in the strategy session as well, right? That you just do one question each of the constructions type, you will be good to go. And as you can see, you are far more than good to go now, right? Next was about Pythagoras theorem proof. I don't think so any other proof you can think of while thinking about class 10 mathematics, what can be asked as a proof, and that too from a very standard chapter of triangles. Pythagoras theorem is the only proof that could be asked, or the converse probably could have been asked. But Pythagoras theorem, as you know, you have to draw slightly some constructions. The perpendicular you have to drop, then you have to apply the similarity, and then you have to prove that, right? So having said all this, overall, you might have already, you all will be feeling a lot of mixed feelings you must be having. That yes, on one hand, paper was really easy. You have cracked it almost all the questions. You are expected to get more than 75. On the other hand, your feelings might have subdued, that paper got leaked, and unfortunately it's in circulation earlier, and you will not be awarded marks based on this. So yeah, you are having mixed feelings and all. I can understand that. Of course, it's a very critical stage to be in. And what I can say is that, guys, do not panic. Do not think of anything else. What other students, what other schools, what your friends and all are saying. Just stick to what CBSE is saying. CBSE already pointed out that yes, it will again circulate a notice for the rescheduling of the exam. It will tell you the date, right? Till then, at least right now, today you can enjoy, because you had plans probably. Your exams were getting over. Unfortunately, your exams are not over. You still have got one more lap to go. You have to again appear for a maths board exam probably. That's what the speculations going around right now say. CBSE doesn't care for other students. See, Omkar, you cannot blame the education system. You cannot blame the CBSE right now, because the games were fair for all. You knew the rules of the game, right? Now some outsmart kids very cunningly, very nicely just went ahead and took the paper from then. And then that's not an even base, right? That's not the even pitch. It cannot be so that your innings is being played in India and somebody's innings is being played in Perth, right, where the pitches are very drastic and conditions are really not in the favor of batsmen. So it has to be even, right? So for that, I would say that rescheduling of exam is a good thing for you, right? Because paper was leaked, somebody might have already, you don't know how many students would have already got the paper. They have got already 80 on 80. Now you might have done some silly mistakes or some calculation mistakes, and you are left out on few things, right? So it's see it as an opportunity. See it as an opportunity that yes, you have one more opportunity to get 80 on 80, right? So go with that attitude, go for that, right? And any other communications will be coming up in a short while, right? Please do have a go through of this again, the solutions. It will give you a very good idea. Yes, it has been seen that yes, the paper would be tough, slightly tough in the when the exams are rescheduled, but don't have that mental frame right now. Just stick to your simple methodology, NCERT and Exemplar, and you'll be good to go, right? I'll come up with a different strategy session for you all in a while. Till then, this is me signing off. Bye guys. Bye guys. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Bye guys.